Hi everybody, today I'm joining you to tell you all about my new repo battery status, which aims to solve a problem that I have, and that is that my laptop's battery performance is very poor. So whenever it gets disconnected from the power cable for whatever reason, it starts losing battery very quickly. And I had this problem when suddenly I was facing 10% battery status, and then it was too late and I was stressed trying to solve the problem, but it was too late, so I had to think of a solution. Now this solution is this repo that I have here. Now if you clone this repository, you're going to have a folder similar to this one over here. This is all about solving my problem. Now the way this works is that it uses a shell script. As you can see right here, this project is 100% made of shell scripts, so basically it's doable on any Linux distro as far as I'm concerned and you're concerned. Now when you clone this repository, you're going to have these three files. README, we have nothing to do with it. There is an audio file, and then there is a shell script. Now first of all, let's start with the shell script, which does all the magic. What I'm trying to do with this code is that every 5 minutes it's going to check for the status of my battery and see if it's charging or not. And I actually made this in a way so it starts up this process as soon as I log into my laptop's graphical user interface on my user. First of all, let's check out the script itself. The script itself says that if the battery status is not full or charging, it will throw an error and play a soundtrack to notify the users. How does it do that? How does it know that my battery is not charging or it's not full? Well, it's all being done by this. First of all, it does a while true loop, which means that it's going to run forever unless your system is turned off or you actually manually kill this process. However, in a normal situation, every 5 minutes it's going to check for this condition. And the condition is that it will check what this file that's here contains, this file. And if what this file contains is equal or / matches charging or full, which is case sensitive here, then it will throw up an error using Xanity, which is a package that easily allows you to create a graphical user interface windows. Here we're using -- error, which throws an error on your screen with this title and this text. After that, it will play the audio. And what's this audio file? It's this audio file right here. You can easily change it, and then right after you change that audio file, you need to go back to this script, and instead of this address, paste the address of your favorite audio file. This is made or actually implemented in order for you to notify you even if you're not looking at the screen actively. So that's basically all that this code does. Now let's get more deeply into this file over here. First of all you need to do is to change your directory to the directory that I have here, which is /sys/class/power_supply. And then if I go right here and hit ls, you're going to see that there are two folders here. One is AC, which is my info related to my power cable, and the other one is the battery, which is actually named bat0. Now if I change my directory to bat0 and hit ls again, we're going to see that there are a lot of different files. The file that we're looking for here is status, and if we check this file, let's see what it has, we see that it's actually right now saying full, which is talking about the battery situation. Now, how does this allow us to know if the battery is discharging? Well, let me show you. I'm going to use watch-n1 command, which will, or let's actually say dash 0.1, and then cat status. As you can see, every 0.1 of a second it will check the text that resides inside this file. Now let me disconnect my laptop's charging cable right now. It's saying full right now, but now that I disconnected it, it quickly says discharging. And if I connect it back up, after a couple of seconds, well, it's gonna change its status to full. Now that's basically how this thing works. So all it did was check this every 5 minutes. If the battery, for whatever reason, is not charging, it will throw an error and do that. One more thing that you need to be aware of, though, is that for this script to work out of the box, you need to change a couple of things. First of all, as I told you, even if you want to use the default music that I gave you, you still need to update this path. Right now, you could easily, if you want to, copy a new file here or use a default file, but you need to change this part so that it works for your own system and points to the location of that file in your own system, not mine. Probably in the future we'll fix that, but for now, that's how it is. One other thing that you need to be worried about is that based on your hardware or probably Linux kernel version, there is going to be a bat1 folder instead of a bat0, or there might not be one, so you need to be wary of that before actually making this script executable on your system. Now, the way you check this is that, as simple as that, you change directory to this and check if the bat0 exists, and furthermore, you need to check if status exists in the bat0 folder. According to this post in Ask Ubuntu, depending on your kernel version, there are a little bit different situations. I'll link this forum below for your info if you want to check it out, if for whatever reason it's not working for you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As of right now, this script has no licensing on it, so you could easily use it. And if you want to actually make this script so it runs automatically on startup from your graphical user interface, well, the way this works is that you need to add the location of this executable shell script in your .profile file. Now, what's .profile? .profile is a file that exists in your user directory, which is here. For me, this is that. For you, it's going to be /home/your username. Inside that, there is going to be a file called .profile. Now, what's going to happen is that you're going to need to change that .profile file, because the way it works is that if you use GNOME Display Manager, it uses a login shell to bring out the GUI, and whenever a login shell terminal is executed, it's gonna source this file. So cat.profile. So let's check out what this file contains. As you can see, this file contains a lot of shell script, and the code right here is so that it's actually can be run by different shells. Right now my default shell is bash, and for you apparently should be too. Now this file contains some things on its own by default, but at the end I've added 2 lines, and these are 2 different executable files, which means that I'm going to be running these 2 files whenever I'll start up my system. There is also this AND symbol right here. That means that these processes are going to be run in the background. So whenever that's going to be done, your terminal is going to close, your login terminal, without a problem. And for example, here it doesn't need to stop or wait for the fisher.sh to finish before it can run the battery charge sh. So technically that's how it works from the time that you log into your GUI until you turn off your system. Every 5 minutes it's going to check for your battery status. So actually whatever happens to your battery, you're probably going to be noticing it after a couple of minutes, and maximum of 5 minutes, which is not that bad considering that I was having a serious problem before. Now if you wanted to even check more quickly and notify you more quickly, you could actually change this to run every second, but that's honestly not worth the processes and the energy that it uses, the resources that it occupies. So for me, the sweet spot seems to be 300 seconds, so every 5 minutes. Before I wrap up this thing, there are a couple of dependencies that are mentioned in the readme file of this repository: bash, ffplay, and this GNU kernel. Now it doesn't mean that if you don't have these it's not going to work, but well, this is the only system that you checked it on and it seems to be working. Another dependency which will be added here is Zenity, and the final one is the existence of bat0/status file, so that your script can actually check that. So make sure you have the dependencies before running the code right here. One more thing, which is not really that important if you're a casual user, but if you're a power user and for whatever reason you use login shells a lot on your system, well, you need to be wary of that, because as I told you, whenever a login shell is executed, this .profile file will be, well, actually sourced. So which means that these two files that I've written here will also be executed, and we don't want that because it's going to create redundant processes. As of right now, I don't have a way to make it so that only the GNOME display manager does it. I think there might be a way, but for sure I think I will actually update this repository. But for now, these are the things that you need to look out for. I hope this video was useful. For more information and issues, you can also check out my GitHub right over here, which is going to be also linked in the description folder. I hope you have a good time, stay safe out there, and have a good day.